Okay, welcome back. My guest is Babatunde Ogala, SAN, lawyer, politician, and I said administrator, but remember, lawmaker as well. The man was in the Lagos State House of Assembly back in the day. That's been a few moons back.
2011.
That's
I left in 2011, some 12 years ago.
And stayed within the party and served it at various different levels. Here we are today. We're talking about this subject matter that might be arcane to some people, but I think you've shed a lot of light on it just in the few minutes we've had together. But continuing, there are other aspects because we're trying to understand how important they are to the future of democracy. And that's what you've been doing in the first half of the program. If people talk about pre-election matters, I think a state like Rivers comes to mind, among others.
Yeah, you see, look, let me quickly address something.
Sure.
I've also heard this talk about the courts should not be electing governors for us.
I take your part. I made a mistake. I should have said, and I apologize to you, Mr. Joshua in Irewolede. All that time we were on break, he was holding on because he wanted to contribute to the program. Good morning to you, Mr. Joshua in Irewolede.
Oguyori, thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to your guests.
Thank you.
I was prepared to wait today because it's been very challenging, and I understand. First, I commend the Senate President. He's shown a lot of maturity, and obviously he's held the Senate that we would appreciate as Nigerians. The way leadership changes happened in the Senate in the past has not occurred. So I must commend him for being a Democrat. But I would say, if APC has your kind of lawyer, this very intelligent man, I'm wondering, why do they have this so much problem everywhere? In this APC, you look at Zamfara, you look at this Bayelsa or so, you look at so many cases that APC is flawed on technical grounds. So looking at it, do they really have lawyers? Do they have, especially in the North, they have so much issues with technical knockouts and all that. So this election, for me, the truth is, I wish Nigerians would choose well. My support for Asiwaju is the fact that the man is very intelligent. He's a humanist. I think it is the first time Nigeria is going to have a president who can read figures, right? I mean, I'm just saying it in a way that we will understand. An accountant reads figures and can interpret things. So I'm giving out myself to him on that ground, hoping that Nigeria can have a changed narrative. So to your guest, let him help us. APC, if they lose this election, they will lose it because APC is fighting APC. This is the first political party that I will see that are actively fighting themselves and doing everything to scuttle their own success. Uncle good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Joshua. Let me bounce that off Mr. Ogala. Tunde,
so
that APC can actually be its own worst enemy.
Yes, we've worked that part before, and I, to a large extent, agree with
Joshua.
Zamfara. It was APC versus APC. What was the issue in Joshua in Zamfara in 2019? Kabiru Marafa and his group were challenging the process of the APC primary. And their contention was APC did not hold valid primaries. The matter went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, yes, it is true you did not hold primaries. And as such, you do not have candidates for the election. Notwithstanding that the election had been held and APC had been declared winner. And the court said, so all the votes cast for APC were wasted. So it was APC's internal issue. In Rivers, it was the same thing. There had been a congress in Rivers that the Magnus Abe group, Umar challenged. And but the issue there was, while that was on, there was an injunction given by the High Court of the state, saying don't proceed with the primaries or the congresses to produce. But they went ahead with that. And when they get to the Supreme Court said, tell to delegates that emerged while that injunction held were the ones who voted in the primaries. And if there was a court order saying you should not have held that Congress or the delegates conference, and these are people, all those they elected go to no issue. Again, and the Supreme Court now ruled that APC had no candidates in Rivers, from Senate to the House of Assembly. Again, internal problem. So internal conflict mechanism, maybe we failed at that time. And I must admit that. We failed. But this time, I think that is what the party has also tried to guard against. We've learned some lessons from that. One thing I can tell Joshua, it is inevitable within the party. It is the right of everybody, right of anybody to contest, just as it is in APC. So it is ongoing across all parties. I know in Labour Party, there are even issues on the presidential nomination. That somebody else is contending that I'm the presidential candidate of the party. There are issues on who the authentic chairman of the party is.
So
we don't even have those
This
issues.
is standard politics, and
standard
people should
politics.
be prepared for it.
I
Okay,
mean,
another person has
electoral
been... So I beg your pardon.
So it is
another person
normal
has been...
and standard.
Okay.
But like I said, I will thank you for the advice, and I'm sure the party this time around is taking action and is guarding against such happening.
Okay.
But that there will be litigation, there will be wranglings, it's inevitable. Even in sporting associations, in churches, religious institutions,
These things
in
happen.
mosques, some of the leading authorities in law, the Church of Owo Junior and Celestial Church, Ahmadiyya Movement, Olufosoye and Church of Methodist Church, they are all about leadership positions across board.
Mazi Okorafor, I want to thank you very much, sir, for holding on all that while. But, these are intricate matters, and I wanted him to learn. So sorry about keeping you waiting. Yes. Go ahead, Mazi Okorafor, calling in from Arochukwu.
Good morning, the Honorable Barrister. Now, I want us to look at this issue of this litigation as you already put on the screen here. Now, our judges, from Supreme Court to the Magistrate Court, and have a review of what happened in Kenya. Ruto and the incumbent president, they were not on opposite direction. The one was purely on Odinga. After the election, what happened? Within 2 weeks, from tribunal to the Supreme Court, everything ended. The opposition party, everybody settled down. Now what happened? It took them only 2 weeks. But why is it that in Nigeria, we have law school, we have legal arts, we have everything. At the end of the day, a minor case, I call it minor case, will be lingering for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Now, every year, we recruit SAN, SAN, the list. They will just answer everything. What are we fanning? Is it not the sense of time when we start sit down and they bring their knowledge together and control their report? Everything comes out immediately. But why is it in Nigeria? Everything continues lingering. Look, if the judiciary did not take it in the downward frame, the judiciary are going to do what? To derail our democracy.
Okay.
I repeat, they are going to derail our democracy. Whether we like it or not.
Okay, Mazi, I beg your pardon. Thank you very much, Mazi. Let's take it from there. Thank you very much, Mazi.
Let me quickly address this. And I think the judiciary has no blame. In the Kenya matter, whether it took 1 year, 2 weeks, or 1 year, we have to look at the issues that were determined and what are the prescriptions of their law. What is the system of government they operate? So it's not one size fits all. Our Supreme Court, our courts in Nigeria, have not, till date, gone outside what the laws prescribe. The courts are not the lawmakers. The law says pre-election litigation, election petitions must be concluded within 180 days. The courts have complied with that. It says appeals to Court of Appeal, 60 days. The courts have complied with that. It says appeals from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court must be concluded within 60 days. Supreme Court has not failed. So the courts have not failed. And the courts don't make the laws. If the Kenyan law says 2 weeks, that is Kenyan law. So if we feel strongly that the 180 days prescribed for the High Court is too much, let us amend the laws to say 30 days. If we say for the Court of Appeal you should conclude in 15 days, amend the laws. So what these courts have done is to act in consonance with the law. So talking about the courts, and we've talked about some people have written some articles where they were even scattering remarks and insults on the courts, including, unfortunately, by some lawyers. That the courts are determining candidates, they will cite some states and what have you. The courts cannot but do so. And the courts do not determine your candidate. The laws are clear that in determination of electoral issues, these are the steps, this is what you must comply with. The issues that come to courts in Bayelsa is qualification of the deputy governorship candidate. It was brought by one of the parties, PDP precisely. And the court found that there has been no compliance with the law.
Okay.
And let me also say this.
Someone else on the line.
The electoral process, elections, are creations of law.
Yeah, okay.
So if you do not comply with the law, the courts only interpret the laws.
Let me bring in Dr. Ejiwumi, who has been holding on for a bit. No problem. Please, I hope you understand all of this, because these are technical matters, and so I have to give the learned senior, advocate time to explain these matters to us. Please go ahead, Dr. Ejiwumi.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We appreciate this program. I want to thank our son, Ogala, for his contribution so far. My question is to our son. In the situation where we have a 3-man tribunal, and we have minority judgment, we have majority judgment, is it necessary for the judge that supports the majority judgment to read his own judgment? Please, I need clarification on that, and I believe that you can enlighten us on it.
You got him?
I got him.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr.
I know
Ejiwumi.
he's trying to refer to Osun. That is where he's coming from. And not surprisingly, he called from Ile-Ife by saying he caught a judge who agrees with a judgment. He doesn't necessarily have to read any judgment. Even in the Supreme Court, once a judgment is written, the way the tribunal system or a court consisting of panels, especially at the appellate courts, when matters are determined before them, after determination, all issues have been settled. They go into a conference. And when they go into a conference, they discuss what they've heard and what they have read and what has been canvassed before them and take a position. If the position is common, they all agree, they say, okay, Mr. Sholani or Mr. What was his own name now? Mr. Joshua.
Dr. Ejiwumi.
Dr. Ejiwumi, you write the judgment.
But
and with the rest of
it's
us,
a collective.
It's like when you have a committee, you work in a committee, even at your local level, and you have a meeting, you take a collective decision, the secretary writes the report, and the rest of you sign it.
Okay.
So in the Supreme Court, which is the highest judicial body in the land, if a judgment is written, the rest can just say, I concur. They need not say more. I've listened to the judgment written by my brother. I concur.
Okay.
2 words, please.
Yeah.
I concur.
There's something else I wanted to talk about.
So that is it.
We're going to have to leave that there.
The fact that the second judge jointly co-signed after concurring, it does not vitiate the judgment in Osun. So let us leave over this. It's unfortunate some people play on the emotions of people and try to play on their knowledge and play on their minds and misrepresent. There's absolutely nothing wrong
I do beg your
with the
pardon.
judgment.
We're fast running out of
the majority judgment of Osun.
Today we're fast running out of time, and this time we've done so much about the law, and fittingly so. I mean, you're a specialist, and we've milked as much as we can within the time frame. But now I want to turn to the other aspect of you, because you are an APC chieftain. And one topic that has come up in the past 2 days or so, talking about the Labour Party rally. There seems to have been, in Lagos, seems to have been so much that has been said about that. There have been statements and counter-statements. The people of Lagos, some of them seem to be taking offense. Give me an overview, in brief, of how you see what's going on from both sides.
I've also read a lot about what transpired over the weekend. First, it was said that Labour Party supporters were being attacked by hoodlums. When I read that in the social media where I read it, my position is make a formal report to the police and let investigation begin. Some said, oh, they are breaking vehicles down the road so we cannot pass. Very, very, very ridiculous to hear that we'll go and break down for Ikorodu Road. So a Labour cannot pass as if Labour is the only one that uses the road. For every minute on busy roads in Lagos, you have over 5,000 cars coming in, going. So, but that is by the way. There have also been the talk of the Labour Party candidate not paying homage to the traditional institutions in Lagos and going straight from the airport to Alaba Market, then to Relay Market, then came to Computer Village, which some have interpreted to mean, oh, they are people of an ethnic stock that is trying to whip up ethnic sentiments. Yes, they may be right, because I thought he could have also done it differently. It's also quite unfortunate that we saw some video clips where somebody was challenging, let MC Oluomo come out. We are ready for him. We own Nigeria. All those are absolutely unnecessary. Peter Obi had come out to explain that a source told them that the Oba was not willing to address them. A source. I take that with a pinch.
Well, was that Peter Obi or a purported director of the, I'm talking about the former...
Akin Oshitoku.
No,
I think Oshitoku's Oshu, he had denied that he issued any statement. But there was one that Peter Obi himself now is reported to have said that a source told them. I know the Oba of Lagos, even when he's not available. His white cap chiefs will be there to receive them. It's an oversight. If I were them, I would just apologize for it. No law, no rule says you must visit them, but it has become cultural with all of
a tradition.
The tradition that when you get to a place, you go first, just go and pay homage to the traditional rulers. And in some instances, when if the president lands in a state, even opposition states, the governors receive him at the airport. We saw Tambuwa. He displayed, he's a gentleman and the perfect thing to do. There is the president of the country that has come in, I must receive him. He doesn't have to go to his rally. And he did that, and that is just the right thing for Tambuwa, for which I commend him. Well, he's a lawyer, so he should know better. So I commend him for that. So I think at this point, our appeal will be to our brothers and our friends. I am an APC member. So, but again, I'm not saying we're also perfect in APC and we don't have unruly behaviors and supporters, and sometimes overexcited supporters, especially the young people. Like these acts of provocation are unnecessary. Things that send wrong signals are unnecessary. Things that tend to build ethnic tension. Like the young man that went, when Peter Obi visited Computer Village. Computer Village is in the heart of Ikeja. I mean, and the understanding of people is visiting Igbo markets. He could also have stopped by in Oyinbo. He could have stopped by in Ikpodo. There are several markets out there that you do a balance. But for a young man to wear Peter Obi and in front of Peter Obi's car saying, MC Oluomo should come out. This belongs to us. We are here. Hi, hey.
Maybe overexcited followers.
Overexcited. From that point where he was saying that in the midst of that market is also in the heart of Ikeja. Across the road is Ikpodo market. And we know what Ikpodo could be said to be notorious for. It just takes one young idiot. Okay. I mean, look, I'll say this with all.
We're going to have to
you see, if you remember during the NSAS riots, when some members wanted to attack Computer Village. And this, I know this as a fact. We, the local government chairman in Ikeja, and Yorubas had a duty to make sure they protected those spaces. When there was that broadcast purported by Nnamdi Kanu, directing them to burn this, burn that, they had burned the High Court, burnt City Hall, burnt the Lagos Forensic Laboratory, burnt our Lagos Theatre here in Ikeja, and on
We've
and
got
on.
to go.
So,
Thank you
I
very
think
much for the
there is
comment
need
that
for
you've been able to
caution.
make.
There is
Indeed.
need for us to be less militant.
Okay then.
It should be
Babatunde
less.
Ogala, SAN, former lawmaker in the Lagos State House of Assembly, politician and chieftain of APC. Thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome,
Appreciate
sir.
it. Okay, so that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Polarin. Bye-bye for now.